Here with Marcy McCarty, and she has a very cool story to tell us. She actually got to sing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in Utah, and that is not something that happens for just anybody. So we're going to learn all about her story today. Marcy, thanks for coming in to share with us.
Thank you for having me.
So now, how did you get this opportunity? What happened?
It was just really wild. I was going on a business trip, and we knew or thought we were going to have an opportunity actually to visit the Mormon Tabernacle Choir during their rehearsal. So before we left on our business trip, that's what I thought was happening, until 2 days before we left, my director said, "Well, I just can't keep a secret." She said, "Guess who's singing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir while we're there?" And I said, "I don't know, Jennifer Hudson?" You know, I just threw that out. And she said, "No, the person standing in front of me, you are going to be singing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir." And I said, "You've got to be kidding me." But our friend and colleague who we were going out there to do some work with, they're headquartered in Salt Lake City, he had a friend and a former member of the choir who now plays in the orchestra, arranged for me to be his guest at the rehearsal on that Thursday night, February 23rd.
That is so wild. And now, this doesn't happen, you can't just be like, "Hey, I want to sing today for
No.
your practice." Tell me about how the exclusivity of it.
Well, they did have to know about my credentials and my background, and I was a voice major. I am a voice coach or teacher, and I'm part-time on the music staff at Porterfield Memorial United Methodist Church. So they had to have all of this information to accept me into this guest opportunity. So,
well, just in case you guys aren't familiar with it, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir is made up of 360 members plus an orchestra.
Yes.
And I mean, they have played for presidential inaugurations. They are known just around the world of being just an amazing, amazing, very famous choir. So this is a huge opportunity that you were able to have. And what was the whole atmosphere like? Was it very serious, or did they joke around? What went on?
they don't joke around much. In fact, one of the reasons that my director told me about this surprise is because one of the requirements is the women have to wear a skirt.
Wow.
So I wasn't planning on taking a skirt to Salt Lake City. You know, it's cold.
Right.
So she had to give me, you know, a little heads up. So we have to wear a skirt. And I noticed while we were singing that the men looked kind of uniform-like, you know, and so I asked the lady next to me, her name was Beth, she'd been with the choir for 18 years. I asked her, I said, "Do the guys have a requirement too on their attire?" And she said, "Oh yes. They have to wear pastel-colored shirts, button-down shirts, and if it is a print, it has to be a small print." And when you look at the pictures, you'll see mostly they look like they're wearing, you know, soft green or blue. There's no chit-chat between the songs as you're rehearsing. It's very organized, but they were so warm and welcoming, very, very nice, and treated me like I was very special. Beth hugged me when I met her. And the conductor actually introduced me at a break, told them who I was, where I was from, Albany, Georgia, and all about my background, and I stood and they applauded me. So
wow, that is so
wonderful.
neat. Now, how did you decide when she told you this that, you know, this is a good idea? Because to me, I would have been really nervous. Like, this is a huge deal. This is a very famous choir, and I would have been thinking they're gonna wonder why I'm here, and they're gonna think, who's that stranger? Because I mean, they all know each other, I'm sure, very well, and so I would feel very intimidated. Was it confusing or intimidating to you?
Well, I don't think I was intimidated, but I was very anticipatory, you know, thinking I need to watch my P's and Q's because this is a top-notch choir. I have a lot of experience singing, so I wasn't nervous about that. But, you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, you know, so I was trying to keep a low profile and do what my neighbors were doing in the choir loft and everything. So, no, I was more excited than anything else, and to think when I walked into that special door, they let us in and said, "Are you Marcy?" And there was a representative to welcome me and escort me into the tabernacle, and they were in the midst of an orchestra rehearsal, which they do before the choir rehearsal. And then all the choir members are coming in, and I'm looking, wow, look at this big place and all these people, and The orchestra sounded wonderful. In fact, it's the best orchestra I've ever heard in my life.
Oh.
And of course the big organ there with the pipes that you can see in the photographs. It's just a huge, wonderful place and so historic. They have been on the air continuously, broadcasting since 1929.
Wow.
And of course they're called the America's Choir and have sung at inaugurations, Ronald Reagan's, I believe. And of course Salt Lake City was the host of the Olympics 10 years ago, so they sang for that as well.
Wow, just amazing opportunity that she had. And you actually have a short video of it on YouTube, so if you guys would like to check that out, it's called
Marcy Sings with Motab.
There you go, Marcy Sings with Motab. You guys check that out. Again, Marcy McCarty, and we appreciate you sharing with us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Well, now we're going to head over to Melanie, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about that interesting